Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for The Wild Robot. It's a movie starring a robot, a fox, and a duck. Yeah, duck. Voiced by some famous people, but I didn't really recognize any of the voices until the credits, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, so, yeah. Anywho, basically, this movie, it's DreamWorks, and it's at least the first movie that I've seen by DreamWorks that features their new, I'm going to call it Marvel Studio style intro logo, because it used to just be like the kid with a little fishing line in the half moon, crescent moon, whatever, for the D, but now they have like a whole sequence of like the various DreamWorks movies that have come out as part of the like zoom out to get to a thingy that then leads to the kid in a slightly different version of the moon crescent. So I liked it. I thought it was a neat thing to be like, oh hey, look at all these awesome DreamWorks movies that have come out. So that's kind of neat. Getting back to this movie, the animation style I really liked because it was not standard Disney style of the past like 5 to 10 years. So if you've seen any animated movies by Disney in the last 5 to 10 years, you know what I'm talking about. And this is a DreamWorks movie, so they actually put some effort in and did some different stuff with it. I will say that there was a couple of times where it was almost a little jarring. The style of like, I'm gonna call it fuzzy, feathery thing, like not quite Puss in Boots, like the whatever the new Puss in Boots one, not quite that level, but like kind of I would say trending towards that of what the animals in the foliage were versus the robot itself, which was very much like whatever Wally's friend was in the movie Wally, like much more like smooth and slick and whatnot. But I think it was also very intentional to highlight that difference between them. So I did like that overall. It was almost jarring. Then I was like, nope, that's yeah, no, that makes sense to me. That I feel that was appropriate. So yeah, I also just want to talk a little bit more about the animation because I liked that just how beautiful it was. There was a few scenes where it was just like that's just the majesty of the environment that they're in because basically as the name implies the robot is in the wild. So the side characters that she meets are a lot of them are really funny and memorable, and I like the interactions. So yeah, and just a lot of funny things go on. What I will say is probably the biggest down thing that I can say about it is that so when the wild robot first gets there, she's just your standard like, "Hello, I need orders. Tell me what to do. I'm your new robot from Universal Dynamics." And then all the animals are just, not able to respond. So eventually, hilarity ensues, and then she sits down to study and listen to the animal languages. And it really, to me, with how much stuff overgrew the robot, it really seemed like, to me, I was like, okay, so years have passed now. And if you watch the movie, maybe that the green stuff just grows really fast on robots, but I think it was actually supposed to only be like maybe a couple of days or a week or something, or I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it to see like how many times did the suns like sort of look like it went up and down type of thing. But yeah, so just understand I don't think it has been years in movie time for her to study language to understand so that now you can actually have funny conversations with the animals as opposed to just hearing Twitter things the whole time. So that out of the way, the storyline is not breaking any new grounds. It's pretty standard of, hey, being a mom is hard because you don't actually know what the fuck you're doing, but you have to figure it out just like all the other moms have, and you're gonna mess up sometimes, but you're gonna do your best. As long as you're doing your best, that's what is necessary to, raise your child. And the child's gonna mess up sometimes, and that's okay because nobody's perfect, and things, you raise people right, and they'll come out right, I guess. Is kind of what it comes down to. So yeah, that's what the movie is just you got a mom figuring out how to be a mom with the help of other people, and also through the lens of a robot in the wilderness trying to raise a duck. And there's a couple of things with the robotness, but I think that it provides a good avenue to show off, the human condition and how difficult it is to be a mother of a child, or in a small family and group, whatever, like the whole thing. So that being said, or like I said, it doesn't break a whole lot of new ground. Like, the animation is great. I'd say that there's a couple of really, like, uplifting musical moments, but nothing that you're gonna like, oh yeah, let me listen to that soundtrack on the way home type of music. But it was just very appropriate music for it, and it didn't seem like it was slow paced at all. It didn't have. I would say that it did have a bit of a. They had to shift focus a little bit, because it's like, okay, you're being a mom, but you also have to be you, and how does that affect things? But again, I think it all served in the story, like fulfilling the story, as opposed to being like, okay, well, now let's address this one aspect of a thing, because yeah, that'll be a side thing and unimportant, and like, it all very much flows together. One thing affects another. It's not just side thing over here that doesn't affect anything. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't call it the most memorable thing in the world. And I would say that you have to go in there, I would say, more so looking for animation and how that will look, and enjoying just a cutesy little movie with cute little animals and funny little dialogue bits. But it's not going to be world changing for you. At least it wasn't for me. So if you go in there with that understanding, I think that you will enjoy this movie. So I'd give it a thumbs up, but it's not something that I'm going to remember 10, 15 years from now and be like, oh, that movie, you know what I mean? It's good. So give it a watch. And yeah, I would say that if it's still in theaters, to check it out on a big screen, because of just how nice the animation is. But animation also does look good on relatively small screens too. That's a nice thing about animation. So anyway, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.